Hello, my name is Brad Miller, and you're watching the Uninformed Opinion here on UWW-TV. We have a great show planned for you, as always. Stopping by is friend of the show, Michael Enlows, to offer his opinions on net neutrality. But first, we have a story here on how classes are being taught here at UWW. While many think of a classroom as being the only option for most courses, Chris Calvert Minor is changing that notion by using the game Second Life as a teaching tool. Take a look.
Often online teaching is viewed as coursework completed at one's own pace and without a typical classroom experience. This may be accurate, however, online courses do not always have to follow the norm. It came to our attention that here at UW-Whitewater, there is actually an alternative form of learning aside from just the standard classroom setting or an objective-based online course. It's called Second Life. To learn more, we opted to talk to Chris Calvert Minor, the trendsetter of Second Life here at UW-Whitewater.
Second Life was made in 2003, so it's been around for a little more than a decade. And there's avatars, there's houses, castles, any kind of sim you can think, any kind of a reality you can think of is probably there. So Whitewater, we bought an island, and on the island I developed it quite a bit. It has so classrooms where I teach my introduction to philosophy course. If someone wants to make it, and they do make it, they can make it in Second Life. And then you can go there. A lot of places are open to the public.
This interactive experience involves students meeting for class at set time periods, just like an ordinary course in the classroom. The difference between Second Life and discussion forum-based courses online is that students have that feeling of togetherness in Second Life.
And just like so I have an introduction to philosophy course I teach, and students, we come to class, and I come to class, and we do it together face to face. Second Life, it's the same thing, except that we come face to face, but in a virtual environment. I have my avatar, they have their avatars, we come together in this kind of classroom, and we do class just like we would do in face to face.
In addition, there is a group chat sidebar that allows for continuous flow of conversation, brainstorming, and questions to be addressed by the professor. When asked about flexibility, the associate professor of philosophy had this to say.
Some people really find in online education, what's really nice about it is the flexibility. That's not quite the flexibility in Second Life. I usually teach in the summer, and we usually meet during like a, not night, but like a 5:30 to 6:50, so about an hour and 20 or so, 3 days a week. But it is kind of a set time.
Although it may seem like a downfall, the goal of Second Life is to be the next best option to face-to-face learning. Chris claims beneficial thinking cannot take place without some sort of interacting, questioning, brainstorming, and the like taking place.
And there's something to, all right, we're going to do it now. We're going to do it here. I think people pay attention more. A lot of students like having a little bit of direction too, just like anyone. It doesn't have to be a student, but even a professor. It's nice to just, okay, here we have certain times where we're going to really crank through the material. I'm not a big fan of other online forms of teaching where they're asynchronous, so they're not together, and neither the teacher nor the students really feel like they're ever together. And in fact, when I was first approached, do I ever want to do a philosophy course in online, I was like, shit, no. How would you do a discussion course where you're just doing discussion forums and it's so impersonal, and but then I thought, well, Second Life. Second Life is, I describe it as a nice halfway house. If one's going to do it online, one has to do it online and not face to face. This is, right now the next best thing.
As far as grading and attendance goes, everything has seemed to stay relatively the same between Second Life and Chris's classroom instruction. Currently, there are only a few courses offered in Second Life here at Whitewater, but Chris hopes to change that. Online courses can take weeks to set up. In Second Life, you can be on your way in under 1 week. Lastly, for any student who prefers taking courses online, seize the opportunity and expand your learning to new levels. Who knows, maybe you might just pick up a skill or two in the process. I had the opportunity to experience Second Life and see what it was all about. As a student who has taken generic online courses before, it didn't take long before I was sold. If you still need more convincing, stop by Laurentide Hall and talk to Chris for more information. Second Life can positively transform your perspective on learning. This is Mohamed Ahmed-Yahia with UWW-TV signing off.
Now, I know some people have reservations about taking a class like this as opposed to a more traditional environment, but ask yourself, what freedoms am I missing out by not taking this class? I mean, you show up to class with no pants on in a lecture and you get thrown out. I know from experience. In Second Life, it doesn't matter. Now, instead of having to run all the way across campus when my alarm doesn't go off, I only have to stumble over to my computer. I can't imagine why all classes aren't like this. But moving on, I now welcome today's guest, an expert on the issue of net neutrality, Mr. Michael Inlows. So Michael, how's it going?
It's going wonderful, Mr. Miller. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, can't complain. Got a nice coat on.
You do.
So Michael, I mean, I know obviously being a TV personality, but you know, for those of us who don't know in the audience, could you explain what net neutrality is?
For the mere mortals out there, I'll explain. Net neutrality is kind of the idea that all websites get the same speed of internet, as opposed to possibly bigger websites or websites that are more profitable, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, just thinking that maybe they get higher speeds than other like small internet sites. Like, I don't know, maybe you want to sell tangerine-colored coats and you make a website for it.
Obviously. So, why are people so fired up about this? Because, I mean, if you ask me, it sounds perfectly fine. If you want faster speed, you should be a bigger website.
I agree. Personally, I believe that every company should be a multi-million-dollar company and that they should be able to get whatever speed they want and not worried about like little internet sites that want to sell tangerine-colored coats. But I guess some people just like things to be equal.
Yeah, I mean, they should be more profitable if they want faster speed. It's as
exactly.
simple as that.
It's like it's survival of the fittest out there.
It really is. That's capitalism.
Exactly, and that's America.
So, how can we stop people from ruining the internet?
Personally, I believe that we should judge people and find out if they even deserve internet at all.
Right.
I mean, I think if they keep complaining, this is kind of like America Internet, love it or leave it. And if you're complaining about not having fast enough speeds, you should probably just be shut off.
I agree with that. So would that be something the government would be responsible for? Or
of course.
Okay.
Like the government is all-knowing and very trustworthy.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I've never had a problem with the government before.
Me neither.
Yeah. I mean, so... And how do you think if we don't manage to stop this in time, like what is it going to do to the private sector?
I think if we don't stop these ne'er-do-wells who want to make these socialized communist internet setup, it could crumble the pillars of society as we know it.
I agree. Well, unfortunately, Michael, they're telling us we have to get off the set, but thank you for your expertise. I'm sure the audience has learned a lot. Anyway, that's today's show. I'll see you all next time I need to film a project. Thank you.